Great minds discuss ideas, average ones discuss events, and small minds discuss people. Today, we will discuss on the topic how to deal with toxic people. One day, a teacher and two of his disciples were on a stroll around the ashram. On their way back to the ashram, they came across a mango tree dangling with sweet, juicy mangoes. Looking at the tree, the teacher thought of testing his disciples. He asked them to observe the mango tree carefully. In a short while, he asked the first disciple, "What do you think of this mango tree?" The first disciple cynically answered, "Teacher, this tree does not give us mangoes unless we throw stones and sticks at it." Then the teacher asked the same question to the other disciple. He smilingly said, "Teacher, this tree gives us sweet, juicy mangoes despite people throwing stones and sticks at it." Regardless of asking the same question to both the disciples, the thought pattern of their response was altogether different. The people in your life help you shape into a person who you are. Generally, many of us face bad Mondays, challenging weeks, and even disappointing months. That's the cyclical nature of a career, business, or studies. Some people always carry with them gloomy cloud and leave its effect wherever they go. It can be a family member, classmate, teammate, colleague, or a boss. It's common to refer to these people as being toxic. Of course, there's a difference between being toxic and acting toxic. The first is when it is ingrained in our personality. The second corresponds to aspects of our behaviors.
It's okay, guys. Let's do it her way.
No, not again. Why does it say pepper jam when there is no pepper jam? I swear to God, one of these days I just kick this piece of shit out the window.
You mean
Toxicity is not considered a mental disorder, but some mental disorders can be the underlying cause of toxic behaviors like borderline personality disorder. Let us take a few examples of toxic people from literature and scriptures. Lady Macbeth is the most legendary villain of Shakespeare's plays. She sparks most destructive and deadly events in the play Macbeth. In Harry Potter, the maternal aunt and uncle of Harry always treated him badly. Shakuni in Mahabharata is an intelligent, crafty, and devious character who instigated the Kauravas in plotting against their cousins Pandavas. In the Bible, Judas Iscariot, one of the 12 disciples of Lord Jesus, betrayed him for 12 silver coins, and later his guilt feeling persuaded him commit suicide. How do you know if you are dealing with a toxic person? Here are some warning signs of a toxic person. They show up to share complaints, problems, and fears. Their habits and ongoing actions harm others. You feel like you are being manipulated into something you don't want to do. You are constantly confused by the person's behavior. You feel like you deserve an apology that never comes. You always have to defend yourself to this person. You never feel comfortable around them. You always feel bad about yourself in their presence. You notice them mostly gossiping about others. Broadly speaking, there are two types of toxic people, intentional and unintentional. The actions and thoughts of intentional toxic people are deliberate. They are fully aware about their actions and their likely consequences. This can be further classified into narcissists, manipulators, gossipers, attention seekers, revenge takers, deceivers, power-centered, etc. The unintentional toxic people don't hurt others deliberately. Most of the times, the unpleasant behavior they display is a result of their own frustration because they lack techniques of expressing their emotions. Example, a manager loses his temper on his subordinate. However, later he realizes his mistake and apologizes. According to Mental Health America, 84% of women and 75% of men report having had a toxic friend at some point. What causes toxicity or makes one toxic? Toxic people can be the cause of negative feelings and emotions. Many of the toxic people deal with their own stresses and traumas and don't know how to process it in a healthy manner. Rising divorces among married couples due to non-adjustments, intensifying distrust among business partners, an unhealthy environment in workplaces are creating toxicity to their dependents. Conspiracy and vested interests. Example, current Ukraine crisis is the result of conspiracy and vested interests of world leaders. Bullying, ragging, eutizing, and abusing lead to mental trauma to the victims. Exploitation, creating fear psychosis, taking undue advantage of vulnerability, etc., leads to instability and silent suffering. Unrealistic parental expectations and their unfulfilled goals create misery to their children. Example, some might have failed to become a surgeon or a rocket scientist. However, they pester their children to become what they could not achieve. Following a mere code of conduct without appropriate remedials and welfare schemes. Visual and social media. Repeated hitting of colored facts by news channels. Regular display of manipulations in TV serials and 24/7 unfiltered social media posts are heavily loaded with vested interest and pessimism. Some people face highly toxic office environment, and as they return home, they pass it to their family. It can be vice versa too. These events gravely infect the society with toxicity. A research from Friedrich-Schiller University in Germany found that exposure to stimuli that causes strong negative emotion is the same kind of exposure you get when dealing with toxic people. It causes subjects' brains to have massive stress response. How to stop being a toxic person? Studies have shown that stress can have lasting negative impact on the brain. After removing toxic experiences or toxic people from your life, you also have to give time to heal. Here are a few steps you can adopt. Stop being toxic. Develop right attitude. Your attitude impact your behavior and thought pattern. Example, success of Mary Kom and Mirabai Chanu in Olympics. Habit of listening to yourself and listening to others can strengthen your self-awareness and knowledge of people around you. Always respond to provocations and instigations wisely. Example, Sachin Tendulkar's opponents often tried to provoke him through sledging in international cricket. However, he remained cool and focused only on his game. Your ego can make or mar you. The ego of power and wealth and the ego of only my view is right are most destructive. Hence, use your ego wisely. Expressing gratitude creates positive vibes. Thank God for the wonderful day, for the lessons you learned and the opportunities you received. Thank people who helped you in one way or the other. Forgiving oneself and others and seeking forgiveness wherever necessary will help one to shed away unnecessary baggage. To forgive is to set a prisoner free and discover that the prisoner was you. Developing qualities such as empathy, compassion, understanding, etc. to create positive vibes in and around. Reach out for help from a professional or a spiritual counselor if you realize that your pessimism and toxicity is beyond your control. Indulging in daily exercise and meditation can renew one's energies and focus. Words have tremendous power. Frequent positive self-affirmations and self-talk can help one to believe in whatever one says and affirms. It can create immense positivity and transformation. Create a circle of positive people around you. We are known by the company we keep. Developing mental immunity and stamina can make your surrounding happy. Conduct SWOT analysis on yourself. That is, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. This exercise will help you to understand yourself and act accordingly. Relationships and associations like family, friends, career, education, business, religion, etc., meant for creating a support network that is crucial for our social, physical, and mental well-being. Nevertheless, it depends on how close, distant, or challenging these relationships are. Thus, toxicity in life cannot be avoided. However, we can control its impact and try to spread positivity around us and stop being toxic to others. Thank you. Have a great day. God bless you.